Yo, what's up, guys? It's the Phantom Armor. That was weird. I'm gonna go with my regular intro. Yo, what's up, guys? It's the Phantom Armor coming to you guys with a brand new video of a revamped version of Traptrix Performapal Gradle. So that deck was like I topped with that quite a lot back in the day. No, well, it was like before. I think it was during Drago or like Luster, Triple Luster. It was before the Performapal engine of Pepe, so back then, and this deck could totally compete against it. It's taken some different nerfs. It's essentially like not even the same deck anymore. But honestly, without the Performapal engine, it's very hard to keep a power engine. So we're just playing some different engines. So we're playing Double Assault Halberd. I wanted to try 3, but I felt like 3 was really clumpy. So I think 2 is good because if you draw both, like that kind of sucks. But realistically, like the play you want to do is like you want to attack, grab the other one, and then you have a backup play, or you could just normal summon it and then overlay from here. It's not often you're gonna get an attack in, but it's just more level 4 spam, and also like we want a plus with this deck. It's essentially +1, but it has more outs than the old build. A triple Mermello. Oh yeah, by the way, this build's like as competitive as possible, I think. At least like this is what I think is as competitive as possible. Triple Mermello searches the traps, which stops pendulum summons. And if you can stop at least one pendulum summon with this deck, you're probably going to win the game. Because you have so many plus cards, so many cards that can even harder, like, or stop your opponent even harder. So, that's why. One Dynea. This card's kind of, it's like, it's really good in situations that you need it, where you can just, especially summon the Mermello back, but often you don't need it. So, just one. And also, if you draw this card before you draw these guys, it's much harder to get this out of your hand than it was back when we had the Performapal engine. So it's very hard to get, like, it's not as easy to put use to this card when you draw without Mermello, so we're only playing one copy. But we do have other ways to make it live. I just wanted to only play one. We're playing triple Fire Hand, and then double Ice Hand. So the mentality behind these are like, so I don't want to play the Gradles anymore, mainly because like the Gradles are pretty one-sided. Setting a Gradle is pretty terrible, but setting an Ice Hand is pretty good. Or a Fire Hand, because they can get popped by any effect and still resolve. Which often in this meta, they're going to get popped by a variety of different effects. So, often if your opponent sees you're playing Gradles, they can often just take the risk Raigeki one card, and you're essentially done. But with this card, what you can do is like, they can't really play around them. Of course, like, they don't miss timing like the Gradle, or they do miss timing unlike the Gradles, but that's really not that, like, important. And the main point of these guys is like they're really good against Monarchs. They're much better against Monarchs than the Gradles are, because they play much more back row. They're much better against Draco Pals. They're not very good against Cosmo, but these cards weren't good against Cosmo in the first place. Like Ice Hand just makes the engine like better at that point. The only benefit you had there was like Gradle Dragon, which was just so you can attack over the ships. And then also these cards are also like they force out the pilots. Like if they attack into it, and you can pop a card and then summon the Fire Hand. At this point, your opponent's like already behind, or yeah. So I feel like these are just much more helpful, and also they're level 4, so they help with the rank 4 spam. So yeah. We're only playing 2 Ice Hand, you may have noticed, so we're playing 1 Jowgen to replace a third. I do have a third, it's just I don't want to play a third, because there's not as much back row floating around in the format. But I feel like Jowgen is also really cool. You don't really want to normal summon it, you just want to use it to out big boards, and also this card doesn't target. So I think it's pretty interesting. I didn't want to play, though Fossil Dawn is probably a better card. In this format, setting a card is so slow, so I'd rather just go for the -1 to actually have it resolve. And this card can get rid of a lot of dead cards, so like Dead Hands, a Traptrix Mermello, and if you have a Dynea, stuff like that, it can just get rid of a lot of interesting cards, which I feel like is pretty cool. And then there's one more engine, so we're playing the DD Warrior Lady because we're playing Rhoda, so we can search this. Just another out, and also it's pretty cool because yeah, it's like a warrior, so you can search it off Rhoda. And then also like if you draw both of them together and you still have Rhoda, you can just special summon one, normal summon the other, and then use the Rhoda to search for Assault Halberd, and then from here just make like overlay for like a pop, and then go from there. Special summon the other copy, do Yo tricks. So yeah. It's pretty interesting. I like it. It's a good card. And then we're playing Mathematician Glow Up Bulb. So we're playing these two just to send the Mathematician. Mathematician just opens a lot of combos. Plus there's another card that essentially pluses us advantage and an extra card that can put us ahead. And then also there's a lot of cards you can send. Like you can send Mermello if you have Instant Fusion just to like make plays with that. And so yeah, I feel like Math's pretty cool. I wanted to try Trick Clown for this guy, so you can send it off this card, or Trick Clown off this card. And then as well as like if you have Trick Clown and Assault Halberd, that isn't bad. And then I could try Thousand Blades, but either way, I don't know. These are okay. These are good. Twin Twisters, these are really good. Obviously, often you can play around back row, but sometimes you don't have the resources to play around back row, and you rather just like go the double MST route. Double Chalice. This card is pretty cool because it can work on both. Like it's good going first and second, which is why this card is pretty good. So yeah, and often when your opponent sees the type of deck you're playing, they're gonna make you go second. And in this format, you always want to go first. Like it doesn't matter what deck you're playing anymore. You always want to go first. Like I've seen Monarch players who go second and you just win with Draco Pal because they can't out your big boards as well as you think they can. In mid to late game, yes, but in early game, you can't really out the big boards. And yeah, so like you have to go first this format. So like having Chalice just in case you go second is pretty important, just to break big boards. Instant Fusions, this card's really cool, just as like more special summoning, because this deck would be pretty slow without it, honestly. And we want a fast-paced deck. I might bump this up to 3. I don't even care that there's only one Norden. Foolish, and then Army. Foolish is just to send like stuff like, of course, once again, the Mermello or the Bulb to make turn 1 Nat Beast against some decks. It can help, and honestly, it's pretty good. It's a pretty resilient card. And then Road is, of course, to get either an out or pluses. So it's very versatile in the way this card works, too. Moving on to the traps, we're playing Triple Fiendish Chain. I don't know why you... honestly, you probably should be playing Strikes over these, but I feel like if you don't have enough money for Strikes, honestly, these are, like, the best. The next step up. And, yeah. Because this deck wants Effect Negation, honestly, like... You're playing on your opponent's turn isn't very strong, so you always want more Effect Negation. Triple Call of the Haunted, also to do what I just said, play on your opponent's turn, which is a very big factor in Yu-Gi-Oh! And you want Call of the Haunted just to be able to like, honestly, Call of the Haunted back Jowgen in the middle of your opponent's, Cosmo dude. Like, if your opponent, if you have a threat on board, and your opponent normal summons a Cosmo, you can go Call of the Haunted, summon Jowgen, and then from here, like, this is really good, because now they lost both their material and what they might have summoned. Like, if your opponent, it's really good when your opponent, like, E-Tellies, because then you can act, or E-Tellies Tin Can, and on the end phase, they're like, oh, Tin Can, you let them have the search and everything, because then they can't run over your Jowgen, and then you go Call of the Haunted, summon Jowgen, and your opponent can't, when they banish, because either it banishes and they summon a monster, or it just banishes, so, like, I'm just saying, like, this card can do a lot, I think, especially against Cosmo, which is definitely going to be the best deck moving into the next format. So yeah, Triple Call of the Haunted. I just feel like playing on your opponent's turn is such a big factor in Yu-Gi-Oh! Double Mirror Force, just to clear boards. It's mainly for Rogue. This card is not very good against Cosmo, but essentially we're trying to make the whole deck good against Cosmo, so it doesn't really matter. Mirror Force, I feel like, there's no better card against Cosmo. Like, Storming Mirror Force is terrible. Because even if you bounce back all their cards, they're just going to do it again. Or they're going to shuffle it back for even more fodder for Cosmo Town. So yeah, you don't die, but at the same time you're playing a terrible card. And everything else will definitely benefit from Cosmo Town. Or not Cosmo Town, Storming Mirror Force. Every other top deck right now, the only thing it's good against is, like, truly good against is, like, BA, or PK Fire, BA, and at that point, it's only subpar. So, there is, like, no better Mirror Force for now. As soon as Shining, I think Rippling Mirror Force comes out in Shining Victories, which I feel could be, like, a very powerful card. But, for now, it's just these. Starlight Road. This card's insane. If somebody Twin Twisters you, like, you're just gonna go ham. Obviously, it's not very good, or it's not as, it's a debate whether this card or Huge Revolution, but I feel like your opponent's not gonna be popping their own cards anymore, because Draco Pal, I don't think it's gonna be too competitive. I think it's still gonna be a fun deck, but I don't think it's gonna be competitive. Well, you're not gonna see decks try to pop 2 of their own cards at the same time anymore. Like Cosmo, yeah, they're definitely popping their own shit. It's kind of important, but you're never gonna see, like, pop 2 cards at once anymore, unless it's against you, which is like Twin Twisters. So you can stop the Twin Twister and then summon a Stardust, which is really powerful. And then stuff, you could also make Stardust with, like, weird combos. So that's also very powerful. Shadow Imprisoning, I just wanted to play one copy because it's like good against everything in the meta. So I just wanted at least one copy in the main deck. I was playing two, but then I felt like I had to cut it down to one. Nightmare, Void Ogre, Time Space, and Bottomless. These four all sit like kind of iffy. I don't know. I wanted more negation because if this deck doesn't draw negation often, you're just gonna die. So that's why we played Nightmare at all. Like it's kind of terrible otherwise. Bottomless is good against everything, and then these two are both like they're both terrible against Monarchs. And yeah, let's put this guy in there too. All three of them are terrible against Monarchs, but we're not building this deck to beat Monarchs. Monarchs, you just have to keep tempo against them. They can't honestly win. So, like, because if you keep clearing their Monarch, it won't be easy for them to win. So, what you do with these guys is like essentially, these guys are all really good against Cosmo. This card's pretty good against Cosmo. It's okay against Cosmo. It's like whatever. Time Space is pretty good against Cosmo, obviously, and then Void Trap Hole. It's okay against Cosmo because it has to destroy the monster. So mainly it's just for Dark Lady. But which is coming out soon. I think it's coming out in Shining Victories. But either way, like all three of these are pretty versatile around the board. All these four are pretty versatile around the board. Practically whatever you're playing against, you're probably gonna have a good search off of Mermello. Because against Pendulum decks, you have like so many outs to stop all their shit. So yeah. Essentially, if you stop one Pendulum summon, you're probably gonna win that game. And then Solemn Warning. So that's the main deck. We play a small amount of spells, a decent amount of monsters, and a large amount of traps. Most of the deck's traps because we just want to draw a lot of traps. Realistically, our ideal moment is like one monster that can generate another monster and then a trap. Or like tons of traps. Like 3 traps, probably Assault Halberd, Mermello. You just want cards that can generate more cards. Moving on to the extra deck, we're playing, of course, the one Norden, sad one. It's okay. I don't know. I might play Relinquish, but it's kind of terrible. So, yeah. Nat Beast. This card is, of course, really powerful. It's the reason we're playing Global, but all. So, yeah. Catastor, just in case Nat Beast is not good against that deck, you can just keep swinging into shit, and your opponent can't really stop it. Armory Arm, we need 1/4 at least, and I felt like this was like one of the most powerful. Obviously, I wasn't gonna play Herald in a deck that couldn't search off of it, or like Herald, or couldn't build big boards. So honestly, I didn't want Herald unless I could set tons of back row with it. And honestly, at that point, I'd rather just have the Glow Bulb and Grave. So I felt like Armory Arm was like the best choice, just because like this card, though it's situational, it can often win you games by making a 3200 nappies that can attack people really like hard. So yeah. And then of course the Stardust that you can both make and summon off Starlight Road. There's a combo. I think I'll show it. I'll show it at the end. Rhapsody, still looking for a replacement for this guy. I don't really have anything right now. He's kind of terrible though. Dwellers, they're good. Emerald to put back stuff. Honestly, you put back the hands quite a lot. And then also putting back Mermellos, and I put back Jowgen before, I often put back Mathematician too. In late games, because essentially you have more power cards. This deck can, honestly, I feel like you should be playing 2 Emerald. I just don't have a second Emerald. Because looping hands over and over again is really good. Diamond Dyer, Castel, Monarch, these are just our out cards. I feel like these guys are necessary, and especially since we have so much rank 4 room, we can even play Monarch, so. Because on average he sucks, you'd rather play any other rank 4 over him, but I don't really have that. Or I don't. I would probably be playing Rafflesia over him if I had a Rafflesia. I just don't have a Rafflesia right now, so. One Karn. We play Carnagorgon just for like, I don't even know. It can run over Majesties, and then also it's which is why we even play it. And then also what it can do is it can protect monsters from like weird effects. Like I think it can retarget Dark Destroyer. I don't know, something like that. But it's a pretty interesting card. I felt like it's better than like Gemini Pearl or Utopia or anything. So I feel like he's cool. And then Spider Shark dude, because we have Ice Hand and Norden. So we can make him pretty easily, and then when he dies, you summon back the Norden, which is really insane. And then also when he attacks, you can attack over Cosmo ships. It's just a lot of shit, because he doesn't target either. So, and then Cosmo can't really get around things except by destroying them, unless it's against unless they have Cosmo to it. So that's why. And then finally, your topic future. Because he's pretty good. But either way, that's the deck. It really just wants to like out every card your opponent plays, kind of like grind through. It's pretty good at that stuff. And yeah, I guess I'll show you guys the combo I was talking about. You need like 3 cards. It's pretty exact, but you can make the Stardust. Essentially, you have to be going second. So Halberd, normal summon, Math. Math sends the glow up bulb. You instant fusion. Often you will. I want to decide a Photon Thrasher so that if you had wrote it, you can turn 1 do this combo. No, I don't think this combo would work going turn 1. Never mind. So you special summon this guy. You sync for the 5. Make the Nat Beast. Special summon the glow bulb, and then sync 8 here for the Stardust. And then this is like a really powerful board because like most doubts in the game are like, or most monsters honestly just kill the card, and yeah, so that's why. And I feel like this is pretty good because against Monarchs, they're some of their only outs outside of this is like popping it. Of course, you can make like other options here too. You can make a rank 4 out of these because you just make a 4 here. Where's the 4? This 4 and make like a Dweller or something. Or you could literally just recycle the combo with Emerald. I have done that too. Which is pretty interesting too. So I feel like every way you go, you can find a good way to make this combo. But yeah, it is pretty exact. So yeah, but either way, I don't know. That's a cool combo. I thought was cool because you can like manually make Stardust. So yeah, thank you all for watching. And yeah, this is the Dark Paladin signing out. I'm just kidding. I'm the Phantom Armor. But this card does look nice, doesn't it? Okay, well, see y'all. Peace.